On this mind-blowingly quick Uber driver app tutorial, I'm going to show you how to turn off Uber Pet Rides. All you need to do is pull up the Uber driver app, click the icon in the bottom left-hand corner. You're going to see all these different ride types you can do as a driver, and then you just need to deselect Uber Pet. Now you may be wondering, should I do this or not? I do have a video listed below in the description where I did an entire full analysis of Uber Pet. If I had to give you a yes or no answer, it does depend. I have talked to some drivers who love Uber Pet, and I will say you do actually get more money doing Uber Pet rides. That being said, I think there are three main cons I find to Uber Pet. One is how you structure your car. As you can imagine, if let's say you're driving, you're doing normal rides, then you get an Uber Pet ride, you probably have to pull over, go to your trunk, maybe grab a towel or a sheet or whatever, and then put it down in the back seat. Now I know some drivers have this all the time anyway, just in case people spill something in their car. But I do kind of feel like if let's say you're driving around and you're planning on doing Uber Pet, you do need to have something in preparation for a sheet or a towel. The second thing is in general cleanliness. Even if you have that towel down, even if let's say you put the towel down, you do an Uber Pet ride, then let's say you take that towel, put it back in your trunk, and in doing so, you're trying to make your car as clean as possible. I think it's inevitable. There's still going to be remnants, so to speak, of that pet. The fur is probably going to be everywhere. What happens if the pet goes to the bathroom in your car? There's a lot of kind of unanswered questions or variables that could arise with a pet being in your car, especially one that you don't know. And cleanliness is just in general a bit of an issue in terms of the smell as well. Let's say the pet was just at the beach here in LA, for example, and it's super, super wet, and you have that kind of wet dog smell in your car. Not the best situation, especially for future rides. And then the third big issue with Uber Pet, which is definitely a tricky situation, is allergies. Now, to an extent, I do understand Uber's logic of making something called Uber Pet. They're trying to accommodate everybody, and they say, hey, you know what? Some people like to travel or take Ubers with their pets. Why not make it its own type of ride? The issue, though, is we probably all know people who, let's say, are very allergic to dogs, cats, etc. So let's say someone gets in your car, and let's say you have that tarp down, they have a dog, and let's say you drop them off, you get out of your car, you put that, let's say, tarp or towel or sheet or whatever back in your trunk. You try to basically make it as clean as possible. It is possible that, let's say, on your next ride, someone gets in the car, and they're like sniffling, and they feel a bit sick, and maybe they're coughing, and they're like, I don't know why I feel so weird. I just got in the car and all of a sudden, and then you find out that they're say very allergic to dogs. It's not your fault, of course, but as we all know, when it comes to being an Uber driver, if anything goes wrong, somehow it always ends up being your fault. And I do feel like that's a bit of a complicated situation to be in, because on one end, you did not do anything wrong. Uber did not do anything wrong. The person owning the pet or the person with the allergy did not do anything wrong. But now you're in this predicament where the person might be like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can stay in here. I'm having an allergic reaction. I'm very allergic to dogs. I can't be in this Uber anymore. Now, granted, I do think it's a bit rare for that to happen, but it is still possible. And so for me, personally, I feel like although, yes, you do make more money doing Uber Pet rides than normal Uber rides, I feel like the cons that go along with it, I think are a bit more stronger than just that few extra bucks, right? And I think for me, I'd rather just not do Uber Pet rides. That being said, I'd like to be very transparent that I have had people come in and say, hey, Mark, I actually do Uber Pet rides. I love them, never had an issue, and I make more money per ride.